Hey, everybody. Welcome to Keys Code Love Unlocked, Season 2, Episode 6. Tonight, we are going to be talking about grief. Let's talk about grief and how we can navigate grief, how we are dealing with trying to continue moving on with life after experiencing grief. Grief being losing someone that you love, losing yourself, navigating not being able to just function, um, and just loss, grief and loss together. So we are going to kick this episode off with our disclaimer. Um, yeah, and tonight it looks like it may just be me and you guys. So let's get into it. Welcome to Keys Code Love Unlocked, where we speak from the heart and not the handbook. This podcast is strictly for entertainment purposes only. All the tea, truths, and tough love shared here are based on personal experiences and real life. Our guests are fabulous, however, not licensed professionals, including myself. So don't take our words as therapy, take them as girl talk, grown talk, and good vibes. If you need real help, be sure to lock in with a certified specialist, as we're here to unlock love, not diagnose it. So, yeah, let's get into it. I want to just talk about what grief really looks like and what it means. Um, let's talk about how to navigate it and just like dig all into it. So, in my experience, um, dealing with grief for me has been dealing with the loss of a child, and also feeling like I have lost myself along the way. So I had to learn how to navigate my world and how to build myself back up and to be able to keep going, not just for myself, but because I had other children that was dependent on me. So I just could not give up. It was like fight or flight, and I had no choice other than to fight. In the beginning of my loss, of my traumas, I did have a support system. So with having that support system, I was able to kind of sit in it for a minute. Um, I tell anybody that's ever heard me talk about this that my grandmother was a praying woman, and she prayed me through it. She prayed me through my trauma. She prayed me through my grief. She helped me along the way navigate my grief and to be able to deal with it like day to day. So, shout out to her. Today is her birthday too. So, woo, yes, happy birthday, grandma. Um, but it was just I do believe like prayer, faith, and everything kind of goes into that. I'm not sure, what your higher power is, but for me, it was God. And not even necessarily me praying myself, but like I said, her praying for me and just knowing that uh I would be able to get through it. When it happened, I lost my faith. I lost everything that I believed in to be right when it came to religion. I just felt like, why would God do this to me? He loved me so much. What did I do to deserve this? Why would you take my child away? Why would I have to endure so much hurt, so much pain at such a young age? I was only 23 years old. So it was like, navigating that at 23 when you've never experienced such a loss is hard. I had never experienced the loss of anyone close to me, that I was close to anyway. So it was like to have to deal with that and not to really have anybody that experienced that same type of loss is hard in itself, because you don't have anybody to talk to. You don't have anybody that understands, that truly understands what you're dealing with, especially when you're dealing with the loss of a child. It's different, I would say, when you lose someone that you're typically expecting to lose. The way of life is that children bury their parents, not the other way around. So, as a parent that's burying a child, that's a different type of loss. That's a different type of hurt. That's a different type of pain. So, when that happens, it's typically like you just want your world just stops. You don't want it to, it just stops. You don't know what to do, And then when you have other children, and other people that's there, you don't even realize that your pain becomes their pain. So not only are they grieving the loss of their loved one, they're grieving the loss of you as a parent, because you're no longer the same parent that you used to be to your other kids, because you're trying to deal with the loss of your child yourself, so it's kind of like a system, that a cycle that just keep going. And then when we're dealing with it as adults, we don't know how to effectively deal with grief. We kind of typically shut down first. Before anything, we shut down. Then we may start to take the steps to, kind of get better and to navigate into regular life. But then let's talk about when we got other kids that's experiencing that same grief, that's experiencing that same loss. What do we do? What do we teach them? Because a lot of times we experience the loss as adults and we don't know how to navigate it, but then we're never taking the time to think about how this is affecting my child, my adolescent child, who doesn't know already how to effectively communicate, and they're bottling up all of this pain and all of this hurt and all of this sorrow. They're bottling it up because they don't know how to express it, and without feeling vulnerable, without feeling like they look stupid, without the peer pressures of their, the world, of just what is this supposed to look like? Who's showing them how to navigate through this? Who's showing them that it's okay to talk to somebody? It's okay to, you know, go to therapy, go to counseling, talk to your friends or whatever, or even just cry about it. Sometimes you might just need to cry all day, scream and holler, yell, whatever it takes to kind of decompress and get that out. But they don't know to do that. So it's like they just holding it in, and now they just moving and navigating, trying to be as normal as possible. What that is supposed to look like, nobody knows. And, now you have kids that's holding on to all of this pain, and now they getting in trouble. Now they acting out. Now they doing all of these things that's not really normal, because they're holding on to such a pain, such a loss that's so hard to deal with. And there's no escape, there's no outlet for them, because we're not showing them anything other than, hell, that's what we doing as grown-ups. We just holding on to it. We not letting go. We not talking to nobody. We just holding it in, internalizing it. We crying in private. We not showing people that it's okay to be sad. It's like we sad, but you supposed to be sad. You supposed to be crying. You supposed to be hurting. People are supposed to comfort you. It's okay to allow people in to help you to get through this, but we don't do that because it shows, I guess, weakness. Everybody's so strong and everybody wants to be so strong that it's hard to be vulnerable with people, especially when those people don't typically understand exactly what it is that you're feeling. And I know for me, when I lost my son, hearing people say, it'll be okay, you'll get through this, that was the biggest way to piss me off, the quickest way to piss me off, because how the fuck do you know? You don't know how I feel. You don't know what I'm going through. How do you know it's going to be okay? How do you know that I'm going to be all right after this, or it's going to get better? You have never experienced it to be able to tell me that. Losing your mother is not the same as me losing my child, especially if your mother has lived a full, meaningful life. And not to say that I'm saying like you're not supposed to grieve your mother. I'm saying that the cycle of life says that you're supposed to at some point bury your mother. There's nothing that supports that I'm supposed to bury my child, especially when my child is an adolescent, an adolescent that's not into anything, or, just anything. Who That's not the cycle of life. It's not to have to bury a child. So it's kind of like when people tell you that type of stuff, you don't really want to hear it. And then the people who are dealing with people who have experienced loss, sometimes it's okay to not just say nothing. You know, you don't have to say anything. And I know we be thinking like we just want to say the right thing. We want to, oh, it's going to be okay. Oh, I'm praying for you. Oh, all of these things that we think in our mind is okay to say. But as somebody that's been on the other side, we don't really expect for you to say anything. Sometimes silence is golden. To just sit with somebody and just be there in complete and utter silence. Don't say nothing. Hold me, hug me, let me just cry. Just sometimes your presence is genuinely all a person wants when they're experiencing that, especially when your words are going to be of no comfort. You cannot stop that pain. You can't even understand that pain because you've never experienced it. You can what is it, sympathize with a person, but you don't know exactly what they feeling. So it's hard for a person when they're feeling that to be relate for you to relate to them, or at least for me. Like when I'm speaking, a lot of this is based off of my personal experiences and the experiences that I've witnessed from people that were close to me, losing people. Um, when I lost my son, it was hard. It was the hardest thing I ever done. And I did not think that I would bounce back from it. I really, really did not. I stopped going to church. I stopped praying. I was mad. I was mad. I was sad. But more than anything, I was mad. I was like, why did this happen to me? I'm 23 years old. Why should I be going through this? I didn't do anything wrong. I was healthy. I did everything I was supposed to do. I was pregnant. My son was born healthy. Like, what did I do to deserve this? And I was mad at God. And when, after my son's funeral, it was one of the women in the church told me, like, it's okay to be mad at God. Like, it's okay. And when she said that to me, it was like, it took so much weight off of me, because not only am I mad at him, I'm confused, because am I supposed to be? Am I allowed to be mad at God? Like, who am I to question God? But it wasn't that I was questioning. It was, I didn't understand. I had no understanding how this could be happening to me. And the God that we serve is like, why would you do this to me? Why would you put this on my heart, on my spirit? Why would you make me go through this? And I hear people all the time say, why wouldn't you? Like, who are you? Why not you? But at 23, yeah, why me? Why am I going through this, God? Why are you putting me through all of this? What did I do to deserve this? So yeah, I was mad. And I was told, like, it's okay to be mad. But in being mad, talk to him. That's your time to sit down in silence, be still, and talk to God and figure out, what is it that he wants you to know? What is it that he wants you to do? What is it that you're supposed to get from this? And that's when, like, I started kind of sitting in that. And like I said, in the beginning, I didn't want to talk to him. I didn't want to sit in that. I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to give up. Honestly, I just wanted to stop. And for a minute, I did. And like I said, I called my grandma. My grandma used to call me every day and talk to me, because she knew how I felt. She experienced putting her child in the ground. She knew the hurt that I was feeling. She understood me. She can talk to me. She can console me. She made me feel like I was going to get through that. And I know if it wasn't for her, I would not have gotten through it. I wouldn't have. But she prayed me through that. I know that for a fact. And I was able to get myself back together. I was able to talk about it again. It took me 3 years to talk about my son's death. 3. I couldn't even utter the words. And once I started being able to talk about it, it was helpful. I felt like I was helping other people relate. And then it was like, after a couple years had gone past, I was angry again, because now I've experienced this. I've buried my son. I'm getting past it. And now I'm in a space where I'm sad all over again, like as if it just happened. And now I'm angry again, because I'm feeling like, damn, I don't even remember. So now guilt is attacking me. And I'm like, I'm a bad mother, because I don't remember my son. My son was 3 months when he passed away, though. So it's like, just learning and talking and figuring out what this is supposed to look like. There is no real guide to how you're supposed to grieve, how to actually navigate it. I feel like you need to just be true to you and stay in your faith, keep the faith that you're going to get through this. Walk with God, because he's going to be the only one who really is going to be able to walk you through it, whether it's through him directly or through somebody who is connected to him directly. But it ultimately is going to be God that's going to get you through that. Like, that's my belief, and that's what I'm standing on. So it's like, even all of these years later, I'm angry now because I'm like, damn, I don't remember my son. I got 8 pictures that I can still have right now to this day. 8. So when people ask me, why you take so many pictures? That's why. Because I lost my son, and I have, right now to this day, I have 8 pictures that I recycle over and over and over again. And when I start posting them pictures on his birthday and stuff like that, I feel horrible, because that's all I got. I got these 8 pictures, and then I have a box full of memories that I go and look at, and I inhale, and I do these things, but the memories are not playing back in my mind. His smile, I can only see on the picture. The memories start to fade after so long, and it's like, damn, is this normal, or am I a horrible ass person? Because my son would have been 22, 21 this year, and I'm starting to forget. I'm starting to forget what his cry sound like, other than when I hear it in my dreams. I'm starting to forget what his what he looked like in the flesh. I see the pictures, and I'll never forget how bright his eyes were. But it's like, damn, am I a bad mother? Am I a bad person? Like, how does this work? What am I supposed, like, how am I supposed to feel? And it's like, it's been 22 years, Keisha. You can barely remember last week. So it's those type of times where I kind of, make myself feel a little better. Like, I would never forget him. But there are things that the memories are not as strong. And I struggle with that still right now, 22 years later. I still struggle with that. And I look at, sometimes I feel like, am I the only one to think about him? Am I the only one to remember the things that I do remember? And then I see a couple years later go down the line, and now I'm looking at other people experience the type of same pain that I went through. My little cousin was killed. That completely destroyed so many people. Like, everybody had to navigate this grief. And it was like nationwide. Everybody knew him. Everybody knew his name. Everybody knew his story. Everybody loved him. And I didn't realize, like, my kids suffered behind that. His siblings suffered behind that. My cousin suffered behind that. His mother. So it's like, having to look at this all over again. I just want to help. Now I'm in a position where I feel like I want to help. I want to help her navigate this. I want to help her get through this. I want her to know, I understand your pain. I walk that walk, and I'm going to walk this with you. I'm going to be here to help you to navigate this. I want to see you bounce back from this. And I ain't telling you it's going to be okay, because, baby, it's going to be times where it's not going to be okay. It's going to be times where you don't want to do nothing. And that's okay. It's okay to not be okay. And this is coming from somebody who have been through it. So yeah, now it's like, all right, what's up? What we doing now? I'm watching my kids struggle. I'm watching, they shutting down. They having nightmares. They crying in their sleep. All types of stuff is happening. And I'm just like, this wasn't even their sibling. So if my kids are affected this way, I can only imagine what his brothers and sisters are going through. His mother is going through, because they're the ones who were there every day. Yeah, they were close. My kids and him were close, but these ain't the siblings. They was in the house with him every day, all day, in the mornings, at night. They shared beds, all of that. So it's like, now I'm paying attention to how they navigate, and I'm watching, and I'm noticing they not everybody acting out. Everybody shutting down, everybody angry, resentful, and it's like I completely understand, because when you lose a kid to violence, that's a whole nother type of pain. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's one thing when you lose a child to stillborn, or when you lose a child to natural causes, or but to lose a child to violence, that's a whole nother pain that's triggering a whole other set of emotions and things like that. So now it's like, how do you help her? How do you help these kids? And now, because they dealing with this and they're not discussing it, and they're not navigating their pain, they're not sharing it, they're not talking about it, they're not releasing it, they're holding on to it. So now it's creating other problems. Now it's creating problems. And this is not just them no more. I'm talking about all kids experiencing grief. Because if you think about it, and where we are living in right now in 2026, that's all you see. All you see is children freaking dying. They're being killed every single day, and that's leaving the mothers, the fathers, the sisters, the brothers, the friends, the cousins, everybody to deal with that shit, or not. And when they not dealing with it as kids, it turned into bullying, it turned into being bullied, it turned into low self-esteem, withdrawal, all types of stuff that just don't allow kids to thrive. And then, let's be real, the Black community, we weren't brought up on therapy and shit like that. It ain't something that we was taught to do. So we looking like, just go to church. And I will, like I said, I'm standing on the fact that God is gonna get you through it, but God did put other people in places to help you to also navigate that. So yes, God is going to always be, you know, your driving force forever and always, yes. But God also put other people in places to be able to help you to navigate this. He put counselors here for reasons like that, therapists here for reasons like that, support systems here for reasons like that. Find you somebody that you can talk to. Find you somebody that went through it. Find you somebody that can help you to navigate it, who can understand it, who you can just talk to about it. They don't have to offer you no solution. Sometimes you just want to talk, get it off your chest for today. And then maybe you have to do it again next week or next month or next year, however long it takes, because the shit ain't gonna ever go away. Let's be real. It ain't never going away. You ain't gonna never have a moment where you're just going to be grief free. And it's been times where I was able to navigate in this and be happy for years at a time. And then one day something just happened. And I'm like, I'm hurting all over again. Real bad. Like, damn, like I just lost my son yesterday. Or I'm watching, other people navigate well. And then one day they just fucked up again all over like it just happened. And it's like, get over it already. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. It ain't that simple. You're not just getting over it. You can't just get over it. Who you think want to sit around and be sad all the time, or think about something that they can't change, or keep reliving a moment over and over again that ends the same way every time in tragedy? Nobody. Nobody. There is not a time frame that is allotted for grief. It's not something that you know is going to happen. You don't know when it's going to hit you. You just don't. And when it do, it don't matter where you at. Sometimes you just have to sit in it. You got to deal with it. You just got to deal with it. And it's not always easy. It's not always pretty. It's necessary. It's necessary to just sit through that shit and to kind of figure it out, because guess what? It's not only affecting you, it affects other people, the people you dealing with, the people that you love, the people that love you, the people who sitting around and they see you shutting down, they see you angry all the time, they see you not keeping yourself together, they see you giving up on life. That shit is hurtful. It's hurtful to watch. It's hurtful to go through. And it's like, what do you do? What do you do? How do you get past it? And when I say get past it, I'm not saying like rush the process or, do some get healed quick things, because that's not a thing. I'm just saying, How do you learn to deal with the pain when it comes? It's not all the time. What are you doing? What's your method? What are you teaching your kids how to deal with loss and how to deal with the grief or feeling when they are overwhelmed with pain or overwhelmed with questions? They got questions. They're trying to figure out why is this happening in the world that we're living in. Or when you got kids who are experiencing deaths amongst their friends and they want to know why is this happening. What are you telling them? How are you redirecting them? How are you helping them? Because now it's up to us as parents. Even though we're going through our own stuff, we got to help navigate them so that they're not becoming us and repeating the cycle over and over and over again of not dealing with stuff. So what are we telling our kids when they come home crying, saying, oh, my friend just got killed yesterday, or my friend is in the hospital dying right now? What are we doing with that? Are we just telling them it's gonna be all right, and that's just that? What are we telling our kids when they experience this loss and they go to school and now they getting in fights? Are we equating the two together, or are we just writing them off as they being bad? Your ass suspended, so now you want punishment. Are we acknowledging the fact that the reason that they're acting out, it could possibly be because they're grieving the loss of their friend, their brother, their sister, their cousin, their mother, their father, whoever it is? Are we acknowledging that could be the reason that they're dealing with this stuff, or they're not dealing with this stuff? There's so many ways to help kids, especially navigate these. There's so many people working with schools now, mentors and outreach centers that's helping navigate kid trauma and grief and dealing with people who have low self-esteem or things like that, because that it really do play a part in how kids see themselves. When they sad all the time and everybody around them is living life and they upbeat, and they now they think you weird because you the kid that lost their brother 2 days ago and nobody really knows, or you the kid that lost their brother 2 years ago and all your friends think you should be over it by now, but you're not, and you're not supposed to be. Don't let people make your kids feel like they gotta rush the grief process because they not normal or because they weird. That don't make them weird. But now, because they being called weird all the time because they sad, because they miss their brother, because they miss their sister, because they miss their friend, now they weird. So now, because they being called weird, now they're not a part of the in crowd no more. So now they some outcasts. They weird, they outcasts, and now they esteem is being affected. So now you got this kid who used to be so bubbly and so happy and so full of life. Now they're not. Now they're just withdrawn. They just want to be in their room all the time. They on their phone scrolling all the time. They living life through fucking social media. And it's not because they just want to be outcast. It's not because they just want to be isolated or because they not people persons. Like, oh, you ain't a people person. She was a people's person until she lost the person who meant so much to her. So what are we doing about it? How are we helping her to become a people person again? How are we helping her to feel like this is normal and it's okay to feel the way you're feeling and to move the way you're moving, and you're not weird? You're normal because what you felt and what you're feeling is exactly what you should be feeling after experiencing such a loss. And especially when you're dealing with people who've never experienced it. No, your friend's not going to understand, but that's okay. So are we talking to our kids that make them know that you're not alone in this? Are we finding groups of kids who've experienced the same type of hurt that our kids have experienced, so they can have people that feels like them, who understands them better when they are in that mood, when they are in that place of being withdrawn? You know what I'm saying? Maybe we should look into finding people who are more alike the kids that we're becoming or the kids that we are right now. And when I say we, I'm saying like as a parent, because when my daughter was going through grief and trauma, I was going through that shit right with her. I'm watching over her, looking while she sleep, crying in her sleep, and shit like that. I went through that shit right with her, and I know any parent that has experienced this is experiencing it with their child in real time, just the same. So, as parents, are we, just kind of letting them figure it out on their own? Are we helping them by to bring them into different groups of people who's experiencing the same type of things that they've experienced? Are we just telling them, like, it'll be all right and that's just that? Like, what are we doing to help to be able to kind of make them feel like this, because this is the new norm? Like I said, this, it don't go away. It's not a pain that go away. It's a pain that may pause. You may not feel this today. You may feel happy today. You may feel happy for the next 2 months. And then, like I said, one day you just sad again. And you don't even know why. And as adults, we are better at navigating or expressing our feelings and saying how we feel, especially because we know that these things are normal. But as a child, they don't always know that that shit normal. And they don't know how to be expressive in a way to effectively communicate how they're feeling, because I don't think half of the time they realize that the shit that they feeling is real, is normal, and that even us as adults are feeling the same exact way. I think because it's been an extended amount of time, they feel like they should be over it. They shouldn't feel this way no more. And sometimes I think that we take our pain and we project it onto others. So, yeah, I feel like this because I've lost this person. And then other people feel like, oh shit, I should feel like that too. But you don't have to feel like that. Death affects everybody differently. Some people are not affected at all by death. I mean, I'm not saying that there's nothing wrong with that. But you got people who are not easily affected by it. They see it and they figure that's the way life go. You live and you die. And then you got others who it affects you so hard that you're not able to move on because you felt like, however you felt, this is not fair. This is not what was supposed to happen. This ain't, that wasn't, it wasn't his time. It wasn't her time. But it ain't for us to even make that decision either. It's how do we get past it and not in a sense of forgetting about it or just acting like it never happened. It happened. How are we going to keep this person's name alive without losing ourselves in the process? How do we make this person's life mean more now that they're gone than it meant while they were alive? Or do we just shut up and just move on? I ain't shutting up. I'm going to talk about it, especially now that I'm able to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to help whoever I can help get through it. I'm going to be there. I'm going to, whatever it takes to make a person feel like they understand and they know that they are not alone. That's what I'm doing. I'm talking to my kids. I'm talking to your kids. I'm telling them, that shit is normal to feel the way you feel. You are not alone. You are not weird. You are not any of those things that other people make you feel like because you're experiencing something that they've never experienced. Because, baby, if they experience it, half of the time, the things they think you weird about, they ain't even going to be able to deal with. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about it at all. It's not one of those things where it's not going to just go away. You got to give yourself permission to sit in that. You got to give yourself grace for feeling how you feeling. Those moments where you do want to give up, it's okay. Give yourself some grace. I have. Talk to somebody or just sit still and not talk at all. Just know that there are different ways to be able to handle it. It's different way. It's different people to talk to. It's like, and you don't have to go to therapy, I guess, per se, like counseling session after session after session. They got group sessions. They got women who've experienced it. They got all type of movements now, especially for women who've experienced child loss, whatever that look like. Child loss as infants, child loss as adult children, violence, all of that. They have so many different support systems put in place for people who've experienced loss, because it's becoming so normal and it's becoming so often that this is happening, that we have to learn how to deal with it. We got to learn how to navigate it. We got to learn how to not take our anger and make it everybody else's problem too. Because sometimes we just be mad for no reason. And no. We mad and we got a damn reason to be mad. But when we misdirect in our anger, it appears that we mad for no reason. We got every reason in the world to be mad. My son is in the ground. And half of the time it be for some shit that could have been avoided. So yeah, I'm mad. I'm mad as hell. But I had to learn how to redirect my anger and just be mad. And when I get in that space where I'm just mad for what may look like no reason, I kind of just isolate myself. I don't want to talk to nobody. I don't want to be bothered because I am mad as hell. And I might take it out on you. And then it's like, I know it's not your fault, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, I feel how I feel. And I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to talk. I just want to be mad today. And that's okay. I'm learning that that's okay too. But we have to just learn how to be mad, and that's it. And just be mad. Or, be mad today long enough to be able to push through tomorrow. Don't sit too long in that anger or in that sorrow, because you don't want to get stuck there. You don't want to get stuck there. You want to be able to bounce back. You want to be able to continue living for your child or for your parents or whoever you may lose. I'm speaking mostly on child loss because that's my story. But I know people grieve the same when they lose their parents, when they lose their aunts, their grandparents, people who raised them, just people close to them, friends. You hurt the same in a sense. I'm assuming my biggest loss was my child, so that's where my testimony's coming from. But I understand that other people have experienced other type of losses and they feel the same way I feel. So I just wanted to say, like, sit in it, but don't stay there too long. Learn how to get up, pick yourself up again. And you might have to do this every day. You might fall, pick yourself back up. You might fall again. That's okay. Pick yourself back up. And if you can't pick yourself back up, associate yourself with people that's going to pick you back up. Don't get around a bunch of people that's going to help you stay down. Don't get around a bunch of people who's going to, when you get in that mood of being sad, they help you stay sad. Stay away from them. And sometimes memories are sad. But when you get in that space, get around them people who got good memories, happy memories, stuff that's going to be lively enough to make you laugh, to make you smile, to make you want to, get up again. That's going to remind you that you got other people watching you, other people depending on you, and you can't sit here too long. You got to get back up because we got stuff to do. Your baby ain't going to want to see you laying here giving up. Your mama ain't going to want to see you laying here giving up. Your daddy don't want to see you here laying here giving up. They want to see you doing exactly what you were supposed to be doing when they was here doing it with you. So don't sit in it too long where you get stuck. Get up, wipe yourself off, and let's start moving again. And when you fall down, that's cool. That's cool. But get back up. Dust yourself off and let's start moving again. We don't want to stay too long in this sorrow. We don't want to stay too long in this pain, because once you stay there too long, it's hard to get back up. And you don't want to get so stuck that you can't get back up. So associate yourself with people that good energy, good spirits, that got your best interests at heart, who want to see you winning, who not going to let you just fall and stay down. Keep them people away from you, because grief by itself is enough to keep your ass stuck. And when you got people who add to that, and they can't help you in the ways that don't require nothing from you, You don't want to get stuck like that. You want them people around you who go help you, who got your back, who like, bitch, this ain't you. Comb your goddamn hair. Put some clothes on. We going somewhere. Even if it's just to Walmart. We going somewhere. You getting out this house. You've been in this house for 3 weeks. You know what I'm saying? So be that person to somebody who you know is going through something. And if you're going through something like that, find that person that is going to be that to you, because it's so important to have people like that by your side. It's so important for people to be around you that respect the process, that respects you enough to know what grief look like, and that sometimes you're not okay, and you might not be okay today, but they're going to be there for you when you get back up, because you go get back up. You getting back up. So you want to make sure that you're around those type of people, and the people that understand what this look like. And if they don't understand what it look like, they not judging you. They're not judging you because they don't understand. They're not trying to tell you what it's supposed to be or how you're supposed to feel. You don't want to be around them people neither. Get you some people that even when they don't understand, they respect the process. They respect how you feel, and they want to see you winning. They want to see you happy. So they gonna do whatever it takes to help you get back to that space of being happy, of healing. Don't let people make you think that you're doing too much or you're not doing enough. Pace yourself and move how you're supposed to move. Move the way that makes you feel okay for today, or for that moment, for that matter. If moving for today is too much, then move enough for these 10 minutes, and then move enough for the next 10 minutes, until you get to a point where you're able to just fully move throughout the day. So if you can't do a day at just being okay for the whole day, start with being okay for 10 minutes out the day, and then try to be okay for 30 minutes out the day, until you're able to be okay for a whole day. And once you're able to be okay for a whole day, guess what, baby? Them days is going to start coming. They're going to start coming, and they're going to start coming. And next thing you know, you ain't cried in 4 days. You ain't cried in, 4 weeks. And then you might cry again, and that's okay. Now get through them next 10 minutes. Now get through them next, 30 minutes. Now get through that next day. And now let's work ourselves back up. Let's get ourselves back to where we was just at, and then keep on pushing. And after time, it get a little easier. And then them go be them days where it's going to be a complete and utter disaster. But that's okay, because you've already endured all of that you've endured getting to that moment. So guess what you got? You got it. You got the momentum to keep on going. So keep on going. And remember that your kids are watching you. Your friends are watching you. Your spouse is watching you. And you might be all the strength they need to keep on going. You might be everything that they need to know that it's okay. So if you can't be okay for you today, be okay for them, until you're able to be strong enough to be okay for yourself. And when you're not strong enough to be okay for you or them, find somebody that is. Find somebody that is just strong enough to be okay for the both of y'all. Don't always think that you're a burden. Don't always think that you doing too much or you asking for too much, because a person that really fuck with you, a person that really love you, and they know you, they gonna give it to you. They're going to give you all the love you want. They're going to give you all the love that you need. They're going to give you all the support you need. Everything you're looking for, they got it already ready for you. But people don't want to impose. So sometimes they not just go come knocking on your door. Sometimes they will. Depending on who you're dealing with and how they deal with you. But find you some people that's willing to come when they know you ain't good and you ain't been good. They coming. They knocking on your door, and they don't give a damn if you answer or not, because they know how to get in. Find them people to deal with. Find them people to surround yourself with. Teach your kids to be around them same type of people, especially when they navigate in this type of lifestyle at such a young age. Because more than adults, kids don't understand it. And they don't understand what they're going through. And the kids that they associate themselves with, they damn sure don't understand it, because they ain't going through it. So now you adding a whole nother layer of stuff that is creating other obstacles. And sometimes all they need is somebody to talk to. So I'm just talking about how this affect me, what I've been through, how what I'm looking at, what I've how I've helped other people overcome some of the things, and the fact that that's what I'm doing now. I'm working with young girls to navigate grief, trauma, bullying, all of that. So if you know somebody that's dealing with this, if you know somebody that can benefit from talking to somebody, if you know somebody that can benefit from just having somebody to kind of support them, to mentor them, to walk them through this, holla at me. Because that's, like I said, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm here for. I have a program that I just put in place. It's called Healing Her, Renewal and Empowerment for Young Girls. So if you know somebody that knows somebody that's going through this, reach out to me. Um, if you know me, then you know. And if you don't, then let's talk. Let's get to know each other. So I can be somebody that can help you or help your daughters, or even, somebody that might know somebody that could use that help. So with that being said, we are going to end this episode. If you got something from this, or you think that you know somebody that could have gotten something from this, please like, share, um, give me some advice, tell me where you think I could, do better, help somebody, or, whatever. Just drop me a comment, share the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you next week at 8 o'clock, right back here on YouTube. See you later. Bye.